My name is Stefen Choy. This is Trading with Livevol. This is where I use my own Reg T account. So this is my real money that I'm trading, and I'm using Livevol X and demonstrating how I use the product to trade. So let's jump to my account. Looks like I'm flat today. Just generally nothing much going on. I've had, if you look at my account, I've had this pretty big down movement. Looks like I lost about 20% of my equity, if from when I started right around February 1st, looks like I'm down about $2,000 since I've started broadcasting. So one of the things that kind of got me thinking, because nobody likes to lose, is like, man, that's a pretty big drop off, 20%. So I'm still adjusting a little bit, moving on, and trying to. I think I was used to trading like a huge account. So for example, I was a market maker, so I had like maybe $1.5 million in my account, and then I was trading leveraged, on that, which was tremendous amount. I pretty much had no margin, and now that I have these positions, I realize I'm going to have to do some adjustment. So most of this losses came from ZNGA. So usually I would have like maybe 20 positions like this, and then one would lose, the other would make, and they'll kind of even out. But since I only had one and it was losing, it was kind of putting me in a predicament. And my account isn't big enough to have multiple of these positions, so I'll just have to see what I can do. So just to jump right to my favorite stock. So this morning I was tempted to like sell some calls, try to mitigate this, because my thinking is maybe that it's it's settled down back to 5. It might stay here until maybe earnings in April. So maybe it might be good for me to sell some straddles or something like that, try to recoup some cash until earnings. The only thing is I look at the stats tab, and it's still very, people are still buying. All the block trades are buying calls. There's few here buying puts. So, it kind of prevented me from just selling. I'm going to have to think about this a little bit and see what to do. But maybe I'll sell some of these, March 5 calls against all the calls that I'm long starting next week, and then maybe I can recoup some of that cash by doing some premium. But in the end, I'm going to have to think about it. I'm still bullish just because I look at all the aspects, and the chart looks bullish, the order flow looks bullish. There's this other thing where I kind of check the block trades, institutional investing, and that looks bullish. So everything is bullish. So I'm just going to keep it for now, and then I'll have to think about it maybe over the weekend and see what I can do. Also, I'm kind of noticing, since I don't really have I'm like only a part-time trader, so it's hard for me to do a lot of adjustments on the fly because I'm just basically not here to do the adjustments. So I might have to start using some strategies that's little more hands-off. So I'm thinking about that now. One of them was yesterday. So Guess had earnings today, or yesterday after the close, and basically they were selling a ton of these calls, the 30 and 29s yesterday, and the volatility was relatively high, so I decided to sell the March 31 calls. I had some guests over. One of the guests' name was Andrew, and he was asking me why don't I sell some puts. So I looked at it. It didn't seem like a bad idea. So I sold the 27 puts as well. I know when I was broadcasting, I traded this live, the March 31 calls for 45 cents. But after the broadcast ended and I was talking to the guys about the software, I decided to sell 2 lot of the March 27 puts. And so far, I'm knocking on wood. It looks good. I'm not sure how this nickel bid right now is me. So if I can close it, I'll just close the 28s, and then I'll see what I do in this one, if I should close it today or maybe just let it run out tomorrow. But you know, this was a pretty good trade. I was looking at some of the other earnings today. One was Tiffany's, but just not enough volatility or order flow to kind of let me know which way it's going. So I know they do relatively high-end jewelry, but I don't really know exactly what's going to happen to the stock. So I get the earnings report. Looks like you know, you could expect maybe 6 to 7% movement. There's earnings play, but there's nothing here that makes me want to do anything really, except you know, maybe sell some strangle, but I would really be selling it without any kind of thinking behind it, right? So, you know, it looks like more calls are traded. It's slightly bullish. They're buying premium. You know, the volatility, IV30. If I look at the IV chart, is pretty high. In range with, let's look at the last year. Yeah, so it went high 36, 33, and you know, right now it's around 31. So it's pretty high. It'll probably go down after earnings, but nothing here to make me do any trade. As you guys know, in Apple, I have been basically buying these call spreads. Today I just did another trade. So I was watching this stock. I look at the stats every day, and they're generally kind of like this. Like, they're not really strong either way. Sometimes it's leaning to the put, sometimes it's leaning to the calls. Like there's more calls than puts traded, but if you look overall, like, people are selling options, and which might be considered slightly bullish, but then they're negative delta. So, you know, there's all kinds of stuff going on, and basically all I see people do is kind of do these straddles. So you see, like, the biggest trade here was a straddle again. Don't know if they bought or sold. Probably did it with stock, but not straddle, only calls on this one. So you know, who knows what they did. These are in the money calls. So I didn't know exactly what's going to happen. If I punch it up on the chart, as you guys know, it's been kind of having issues with stock charts. Yeah, I should go to our own chart here. So you see how it's been kind of in a tight range. My thinking is there might be a decent chance that it could be here for one more week. So I started looking what to do in terms of trying to benefit, and I saw this March 1, 5, 25, 30, 35 call spread. And so I decided to buy it. I think I paid 75 cents. And so my break even is it has to be higher than 525.70, but it has to be lower than 534.30. And so it's a very tight range. But if it ends up at 5:30, I can make $4.30 per contract. So I wasn't 100% sure. I'm trying it out. So I'm putting this on, which is kind of where I'm going into like the evolution of learning how to trade the Reg T account, but trying to get to the point where I put on a position and then I don't have to manage it day in and day out. There's basically, if you look at the market and everything that our new Fed chairman talked about was mostly guidance on interest rates. And just not that I'm such a big economist or anything like that, but for the banks, as the yield curve steepens, they actually just make more money. So the lower the front month is, and then the higher the back month, they basically have a good chance of making a ton of money. So I think the market is actually rallying just off of this XLF. I think over the long run, if whatever Janet Yellen says is true and the economy does not take some kind of turn and it stays at its current course, most likely that's a pretty good sign for an XLF and most of the components in it, which are mostly banks, right? So since banks do make up of what, like 20% of the S&P, roughly, that bodes well for the overall market. So I always used to look at XLF for guidance, because wherever the banks go, usually the market follows. Maybe I'm biased because I'm in finance, but in the end, that's kind of what I'm accustomed to. So I like to kind of look at XLF as kind of my guidance, going, you know, just basically in the overall market as well as the VIX as an indicator. So for me, I'm kind of thinking of maybe trying to do new strategies to try to get more basically get more profit. A lot of times I'm generally more comfortable selling than buying. And in my trading, since I began, looks like I do kind of better when I sell than buy. So what I am going to do on the buy side is, I talked about this before, but the Trade a Minute guys have this thing called a $100,000 challenge, where you put up 3,000 for 3 months, and then they try to turn it into 100,000. So, you know, since I like those guys, I'm just gonna put in 3,000, and hopefully they can make a buttload on that. If you guys are interested in checking them out, make sure you guys go to traderminute.com, but type in live 569, and basically you can get a month free. So you can see what they do. They're mostly just buying, which I'm not familiar with technically. So what I do is I just, you know, I'm just gonna follow them on that side, but I'm gonna try to figure out other ways to basically make a good return on my account, and I'm still kind of, you know, trying different stuff. I was thinking of maybe I kind of like this like buy right idea with options. So that's something that I'm looking at. Some of the other things might be just selling options on the indexes. So, you know, we did extensive back testing on the SPX, and if you sell the at the money put on the SPX week after week, you will make money, even though you're gonna have some huge losing weeks. Just to but if you did it consistently and you didn't do it where you would blow out, you can make a decent return. Now the SPX is not really something I can do because it's too expensive. Even SPY seems kind of pricey. So I'm trying to explore different ways to doing this kind of strategy. maybe I was thinking of maybe selling the puts in XLF. So like you see how this one is 16 cents. What if I actually sold these puts every week going forward, because naturally I am bullish on XLF through the rest of the year until maybe I change, and I look at the stats, and the stats looks pretty bullish. So I'm not sure. Sometimes I just test stuff out just to see if it works. I think I might try to do that. So you see how it's trading 22.50. Let's look at the chart. Right, so it has a pretty big update. So, and the order flow is very bullish right now. So if you look at it, like all these things are leaning long, or whether buying calls. Like you see 145,000 of traded. Out of those, 32,000 were bought on the ask. So the delta is positive, and the net premium is negative, which is kind of a bullish indication. So we'll see what happens. There are a lot of one of the things you have to take note on these calls. I just noticed here. So this is actually a good one, but I just noticed this. It looks like they're going to have a dividend of 10 cents. So what the market makers are going to do, you see all these, they're gonna cross them a bunch of times and hope that people don't do anything, and then you can make a dime off of it. So these options are actually, these puts are not actually 16 cents. They only have like 6 or 7 cents worth of premium on them. So it's not as good as sell. If you look at the fact that they're going to actually project it to pay 11 cents in dividend, then XLF will drop 11 cents, theoretically, whatever the dividend amount is, and that will be your price for XLF tomorrow morning. So it's one of the things. It's really important to have a great software, because I was about to sell this, and this is a great illustration of why I like Livevol X, and basically I developed it, was the fact that there's a dividend here, and you get this information right away. So there's no reason for you to actually sell this. It's not actually 16 cents. Because I was looking at it, I'm like, wow, 16 cents. That's a pretty fat premium on that. I should sell this. There's no way. I take my shot on this, that this will trade higher than basically 22.33 by tomorrow expiration, but that's not true, right? Because tomorrow it's going to trade 22.41, provided nothing changes. So these would already be in the money. So it's one of the things where you need all this information, but you also need all this information in one place to make right decisions. So I think going forward, I'm going to make some adjustments and see how I can trade going forward on my Reg T account. For now, I'm kind of stuck with ZNGA, and I guess I can take it off, but I don't want to, I guess, personally. So I'm just gonna kind of let it stand for now, and then figure out what to do going forward. But if I take away this position, my account is pretty tame, and I'm just gonna put in 3,000 with the trade a minute guys and see if they can turn that into 100. But going forward, hopefully my luck will turn around. If you guys want to try Livevol X, go to livevol.com and click on Livevol X, and then you click on this free trial. It's pretty awesome. Like I said, every time I I use this product, I'm pretty amazed, and then every time I use somebody else's product, I'm like, where's this information? And it's missing. So in the end, it's kind of, I think the more you use it, the more you're going to appreciate the software. And for those of you guys who have any questions, feel free to contact, go to livevol.com, and they have a support contact information there. Go and ask some questions if you want, or you can go to a community and basically, ask there. I kind of clicked it off because I think the video would be playing, and I didn't want it to dupe. But anyway, there wasn't that much going on except that Apple. I was kind of looking for other trades to do, but really, there wasn't really that much. So I'm gonna think over the weekend, about what happened, and then figure out, if I should change, or that's something that I'm just gonna. As a trader, you're just gonna have to live with the risk and your account going up and down. It's just kind of the way I trade, and in the end, you just want the account to be bigger at the end. So hope you guys enjoy following me on trading. And if you have any questions, feel free to go to the community site and post some blog or comments. Otherwise, I hope your trading goes well. If I find something exciting, I'll try to Twitter it or something like that. But right now, I don't see anything big. And since I'm not doing that fantastic, there's like no need for me to reach and do something that doesn't make sense. So I hope you guys are doing well, and talk to you guys tomorrow. Take care.